Well, hello everyone. Are you happy to see me, or is that a monster in your pocket? Well, in this case, it's both. I am happy to see you, and it is in fact a monster in my pocket. And that monster is Frankenstein's monster because we are playing Monster in My Pocket. Now, Monster in My Pocket is a 1992 action game of the platformer variety, and it was published and developed by Konami. Although I think in Europe it was one of Konami's other subsidiaries, Palcom or something like that. And it's based on what was supposed to be a huge multimedia franchise. I think it was the Morrison Group that was doing it, or Morrison the Tobacco People. Well, it was supposed to be this big, multimedia franchise, which was going to include toys and video games and cartoons and comic books and movies and all kinds of goodies. And I kind of have vague memories of it. I was alive in '92, but I was a little kid. And kind of funny to say this, years later, I think 5 years later, Pokemon would start coming to the States. And as I understood, Pokemon meant Pocket Monster, which I thought connected to this. I thought it was like the Japanese equivalent of this thing, where it was, in this case of Monster in My Pocket, we're playing all the weird monsters of myth and legend and literature. And Japan was doing its own thing with their monsters of myth and legend and so forth. But it ended up being completely unrelated. It's just one of those circumstances where the names were close enough. So, as you can see here from our attack mode, we're kind of running around as one of the monsters, fighting the other monsters. Now that right there is the vampire. In fact, you know what? Let's just hit start and get into the game. Alright, now we're just going to do one player. And here's our character select screen. We have the choice to play the vampire or the monster. So, I've never played, let me rephrase myself. I did not play this game originally when it came out. My volume is just way out of whack. Let me see if I can fix that. Alright, hopefully that's better. So, I did not play this when it first came out in '92 or any time after that. It was just one of those games that I happened to miss out on. But recently it came back to my mind, and I've been playing it and trying it, and I've been really enjoying it. So I've been playing as the monster mostly, because, well, the monster is green, until you start playing him and he's blue. So we're going to play the vampire. To the best of my knowledge, there is no difference at all in how they play. They don't have different stats, they don't move differently, they don't attack differently. It's just, which design do you like more? I sent out my henchmen while you were watching TV. They will defeat you. So on the TV screen is our main antagonist of the series, Warlock. And if you look at the TV screen, it says Konami. Come on, Warlock. We will beat you. Yeah. Now, I don't know which one is supposed to be which voice is supposed to be the vampire and which one is supposed to be the monster. Now, here we are. We run around with the directional buttons. We can duck. Up doesn't do anything. We can jump with the A button, and we can double jump if we press jump again. But we have to sort of time it right, because I've had moments where I thought I was going to double jump and I did not. And then we just kind of have this attack where we kind of slash forward. Now, those of you who are paying attention may get this kind of feeling of the old school Ninja Turtles games, which, makes sense, Konami. But also, the way it looks, the way it sounds, even the border down there at the bottom, all feels very much like Ninja Turtles. So the concept behind this, as I understand it, Because again, I did not see the cartoons. I did not play with the toys. In fact, if I remember correctly, the toys were like those little capsules that you get at like supermarkets and stuff. And you were actually supposed to play a game with those toys. Like a little war game, sort of think like a HeroScape or something around those lines. So the different toys would have different values, and then you would play them in board games and stuff like that. And the concept behind the games is that all the monsters of myth and legend, and I say literature because I think like some of the monsters, well, like the Frankenstein's monster, for example. But also I think like the Phantom of the Opera is one of the monsters. So all these monsters have been shrunk. The evil Warlock was going to cast a spell or something to transform all these enemy monsters into like little action figures. But as happens, the spell messed up, and all the monsters, I mean all the monsters, are now tiny. And the good monsters ended up in, I think, like some kid's house. And now the kid, or the kids, I think it was a brother team, had all the good monsters. And they were, work with the monsters to stop Warlock and the evil monsters. So that's kind of what we got going on here. And I think it's very cute how they're throwing around a key. Alright, boss fight time. So I kind of like this boss fight. You gotta be careful to dodge the knives that the monster is throwing, but you can also knock them out of the air if you're careful with your attacks. Now this monster is supposed to be Spring Hill Jack. That's a, I was going to say it's a European monster. I think it's more English specifically, and it's I guess a good term for it nowadays would be like an urban legend. It's supposed to be this creature, this monster that was terrorizing women in London. I forget the time frame. And witness descriptions were one thing. Like I think they said like he breathed fire and his eyes glowed like white fire or something like that. But over time, like the description changed, especially as like the newspaper started to get a hold of it, and he became like this weirdo looking like jester demon thing. So that's another example of the monsters that we will be encountering. So like right here we got like weird sugar monsters. And you know what else this kind of gives me the feeling of? Chippendale's Rescue Rangers. That's probably because of the scale. But like these areas here, they feel like a stage out of Rescue Rangers, don't they? Alright, so now almost every stage is going to have like a key or some other weapon that you can use to throw at enemies. And if you're careful, you can usually bring the weapon with you throughout the entire stage. And you can even get it into the boss fight. Which I would say generally is a benefit. But like here, the key is kind of a problem because it gets stuck. It's stuck on all those different not levers, but levels and stuff, and surfaces. And I think in the case of this stage, there is a key or an item like that towards the end. The stages are also pretty short, which I think is good for making a quick and interesting game. Okay, there's our other key. Yeah, these dragons here, or whatever they are with their eggs, they're a problem. Alright, so here's our next boss. The Yeti. Now, one thing that always happens with me fighting this guy is I forget I can double jump. So if you see, when you attack him, he immediately turns and rushes at you. And his only attack is he will fire that, like, sprinkle... Oh, see? He'll fire like those frost crystals at you. So if those frost crystals hit you, you will freeze. And you will pretty much be there to get hit by him. Because when you hit him, he charges you. But if he hits you, he will also charge. So the key is helping here. Because it gives us more range to deal with him. I don't know if it's dealing extra damage or anything, though. But we beat him. And so far we're doing pretty good. I think we've finished 2 levels without losing a life. I've not beaten this game as of this recording. I've made it to the end. I've fought Warlock. But I did not beat him. Now, we will do our best to get as far as we can. And if we beat it, great. If not, well, it happens. This is a game that really rewards you for getting the timing for the enemies. And the truth is, for a lot of them, I do not have that timing. But I do love the kind of aesthetic here. I love, like, right here, we're running down the street. Probably of, like, California or something, with golf balls rolling after us. Alright, sewer level. I think this is another one of those levels where I kind of forget I can double jump. Because a lot of times double jumping will solve your problem. Alright, so now we got the sea monkeys jumping out at us. And I kind of like what they do here, like the developers of this game. They sort of set us up with those monsters so we get used to how they act. Because now we're going to get challenged a little more. We're going to float on this can. And the monsters are going to be coming out of the water at us. Now thankfully, if we jump off the can stops moving. And if we're just careful, yeah, we can make it all the way to the end. Okay, it's time for our next boss fight. This is the Kraken. Now, there is a trick to him. I'm trying to remember what it is. I think you want to watch where the water pops up, because that's where his tentacles are going to come out. And the tentacles are the part that hurt you. Now, I'm pretty sure if you walk into his head, that hurts too. As long as you're paying attention, and you're careful with your timing, you can get through this fight without getting hurt. Now, Now, those of you who have been following me for a little while probably know that I like to promote and play the Retro Achievements website. And this game is one of the games on that website. And a lot of it is, you know, beat Boss X without taking damage. And this one was tough for me to beat without taking damage. But I think this might be one of my best plays so far. I've gotten through 3 stages without using a life. Now, we may use all our continues, we may not. I'll play until I've, you know, either beaten the game or I've had enough. So that was really close to his head and we didn't take any damage. So that's a good sign. See, that was another one of those times where I told you the double jumping just doesn't seem to work quite right. But now, if we do lose a life, we don't have to start the stage over or anything. We just pick up right where we are. So it's worthwhile to avoid losing your lives. Come on. He's taking a lot of hits, isn't he? I think we're averaging 2 to 3 hits each time he emerges. There we go. Oh, I'm glad the tentacle didn't hurt us when it came up. Alright, stage 4, Towering Catastrophe. Now this is an interesting one, where we kind of go up. I like how they work the chain link fence here. Alright, not that I think it makes much of a difference, but I'll just mention it anyways. I am playing a controller here that has auto fire, so sometimes I'll just sit there and hold the auto fire button and let the monster swing as much as it can. Alright, so this little hook here is carrying us over the spikes. And just like with the can, if we fall off it, or similar to the can, and we have like these gnomes. Well, they look like gnomes to me, but not necessarily what they're supposed to be, though. I think we just got a 1-up. Okay, so we just died. But if you see, thankfully, we just start where we were. Alright, so now we got these, like, mean spider-looking things. And these are another one that kind of trick me with the timing. Because it seems like you want to jump just as they're attacking, so that way you land right after their attack finishes. Like that one, I think I jumped too late. Yeah, that would definitely have been too late. Okay, that was a good one. Yeah, I like this music too. And you see, we get knocked back a little when we get hit. So you'd want to be careful. Oh, so there's those gnomes again. Now, maybe it's probably just because of, you know, they are wearing red that they make me think of red caps. Which I think is another European monster, which is it's kind of hard to describe because when these creatures were being talked about, they didn't really classify them like the way we think of classifying monsters and animals. So I mean, it's not necessarily wrong to say that they're like gnomes or that they are gnomes, but at the same point, they might be their own thing. Because as I understand, a lot of the times these, well, depending on the culture and the context, like these terms might have been interchangeable. Like a gnome, a goblin, a gremlin, a kobold may have just been like the same words for the different words for the same creature. But then there may have been specific words for very specific creatures. And as much as I kind of like love that stuff because I'm like just a fantasy and a D&D nerd, I am definitely by no means an expert in the actual history or lore, or real lore. I don't mean like haha video game lore. I mean like how this stuff was actually used historically. Okay, nothing over here. Okay, I believe it's boss fight time. Alright, and our boss here is the Gremlin. So he is going to be sliding in and out of the screen from that hook. Now, not only is the spheres that he throws going to hurt us, the hook can hurt us. So what I've been finding is just hit him like 3 or 4 times, and then just move a little to the left or the right. Okay, that one wasn't so good. Alright. And we got him. Okay, so those of you who are going to be watching this, I'm calling you my good luck charms. Oriental Illusion. I'm saying you're my good luck charms because this is the best I've done so far. The game, in addition to sort of learning the enemy's patterns, the game also kind of rewards you for patience. Like, you don't necessarily need to rush through everything. Okay, so are you supposed to be a cockatrice? Oh. Well, instead of a key, we had a bolt. Now, I say cockatrice because it kind of looks like a chicken. And it's shooting lasers at you. I don't know what those things are supposed to be. Those might be one of those weirdo Japanese yokai critters. Ooh, that hurt. But we did gain a life at some point. These are interesting monsters. I don't think I noticed this before, is they kind of go in whatever direction you're facing. quite boss fight time yet. Oh, you were a sneaky boy. Are you gonna jump down? They don't jump down, but they will jump up. So it seems that the bolt is worth at least 2 hits. Oh, I remember this being a tough part. Hang on. So what do you think? Manticores, maybe? Kind of look like they got those scorpion tails. Now these look like Cyclopses, but I don't know if they're the Greek kind of version of a Cyclops, or if they might be more Asian-inspired Cyclops. Okay, boss fight time. And we are fighting Medusa. Alright. So we can see she kind of has like 5 copies of her. And then whatever the real one is going to shoot at us. I've never fought her with the bolt before. It's not quite working out as well as I would have hoped. But it does seem, as long as we're patient, though. As long as we're patient, we should be able to like jump over her like that and get 2 or 3 hits in. Assuming we don't hit her when we throw the bolt. Like we didn't. Did we hit her or not? Oh, okay. For whatever reason, I thought we could hit her while she was, floating down. Or maybe we can if we use a normal attack. Ah! Yeah, if I use it, looks like if I use a normal attack. Oh, she got us. And like Medusa of legend, she will turn us to stone. Ah. Alright, we can hit her with the bolt if we... I guess we just gotta actually get enough of the body. Ah. It's not working out too well for us, though, is it? Probably doing more harm than good. Ah, but we got her. So, we're on the last stage. I have not used a continue yet. Alright, last battle at Monster Mountain. I've only been on this stage one other time. And it's kind of a long stage. And there we go, fire-breathing Tyrannosaurus. Kind of tough, too. I think they take 3 hits. And it would be bad enough just the T-Rexes that are over here breathing fire, but they have a buddy. They have a buddy that's going to show up. And their buddy is kind of near and dear to my heart. next? Oh, not the Minotaur. Minotaurs are not that near or dear to my heart. Oh, careful. We're gonna get smushed if we're not paying attention. Oh, but the monsters can get smushed. We can use that to our advantage. So there's the buddy. Now it's not 1-for-1 King Ghidra, but it's close enough for my math. Back here, you. Four-headed dragon shooting these bolts that look like lightning at us. Yeah, we're going to go with King Ghidra. Now, we're about to run out of lives. And it might actually be better off to lose all our lives. Alright, because it is boss rush time. Or, no, not quite boss rush time. It's going to be boss rush time soon. Alright, game over. Alright, we got 3 continues. We're on the last level anyways. So let's just give it one more shot. Maybe at the very least we can make it to the end. You can see Warlock, who, as I understand, has 2 forms. I've not beaten the first form. That was my own fault. I should not have rushed. Now, one thing I want to do is pay attention. Do we get points for the enemies getting crushed by the ceiling? It does not look like it. Now, why would we want points? Well, that's how we get 1-ups. Alright, King Ghidra. Alright, we got our first one up at 500. Okay, where's the other? Be nice if we got a 1-up at every 500 points, but such is not the case. Come back here, you. Oh, really? How many of you are there? No. Can't take them with us, so... Well, we know these guys are going to come out of the windows. Can I, like, jump up and hit them? Yes, we can. You know, staying in the corner and swinging like this has been kind of working for us. I'm expecting more Ghidras. I definitely remember them in the caves. I don't remember if they're down here in the palace, but I'm expecting them to be. Alright, is it now boss rush time? Yes, it is. I don't remember if the bosses are any stronger or weaker this time around. I don't think they've changed. I don't think they've gotten weaker. We may have gotten better, though. Alright, so Yeti time. Now, Yeti, quite frankly, isn't that bad. Or Abominable Snowman. The only issue I have is that I forget I can double jump a lot of the time. So I will try to jump over him with just one jump. And that doesn't turn out so good. But we kind of got a rhythm going here. It's probably much safer to take a single swing. And his charges will get longer. See, now he's going across the screen like 1.5 times, as opposed to before he was maybe just going half the screen. I'm still probably jumping a little too far. We did it though. We gotta go deep into the bowels of this underground palace. Because it's time to fight the Kraken again. So maybe 3 hits there? Ah. Well, we got like 4 or 5 hits that time. I think part of my issue here is I'm experimenting a little too much. Like, I want to see how close I can get to the monster's head before it hurts. If it even hurts. Because it's got to be able to damage you, otherwise it would be so easy just to double jump over the tentacles and land right on top of the head. Oh, that was a good one. We got like 5 or 6 hits there. Oh, this might not be the best corner to hide in. Pretty good still. Okay, only 1 hit there. And I don't know if it makes a difference whether we go with the left tentacle or the right tentacle. Gotcha. Alright, so we gotta keep going down. Because we have to go down lower so we can have the gremlin get lowered on his crane. Alright, well here's hoping that we don't get hurt at all. Nope. So maybe when he comes in from the left, the best thing to do is just to avoid him altogether. Don't even worry about trying to damage him. Gotcha. I would love some healing. Nope. 2 shots, I think. Huh. Could have sworn I hit that one. Gotcha. Alright, so that's the boss rush finished. We are going to get a little healing. Because now it's time to face Warlock. Now, I don't know if Warlock is supposed to be mini. And I have not beat him yet. So I don't know all the tricks for dealing with him. Oh, really? Kind of surprised I missed him with that attack. He does telegraph his attacks pretty well, though. So I think, again, this is going to be patience. Patience is what we're going to want here. You know, this doesn't seem so bad. Like, how did I have such a hard time with him the first time I fought him? Oh, close. Or at least it felt close. You know, I might actually be safer staying closer to him. Yeah, because it seems if I stay close to him, I might not even need to jump. Because, yeah, it looks like if I'm... like, the further away from him, the longer his lightning beam is. So it seems the more likely I am to fall into it. Alright, how many more times do we have to hit you? Ah, we got him. Oh, I was under the impression he had 2 phases. Well, maybe we fight him in 2 different stages. So we may finish the game tonight. Oh, you defeated your arch rival, the sinister Warlock. Peaceful days will now return to vampires and monsters. Alright, are they gonna pull a trick on me? Ha 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 ha. I have returned. Warlock. You thought you defeated me? I'm much stronger than you expected. Now I will destroy you. What? Oh, alright, neat. Okay, we're gonna fight the television version of him. So, I might be better off not attacking the monsters he summons. Oh! Oh, do the monsters appear where the beam hits? Yes, okay. So yeah, this is the first time I'm fighting him like this. So this is all new to me. Those of you watching at home, you are my lucky charms. This is neat. I did not expect a fight like this. Seems like it was easier than the other fight, though. I sure hope that was the final battle. Alright, monster in my pocket. Holy cow, we did it, guys. We beat the game. Ooh, it took us almost 50 minutes, give or take. When I edit it down, I'll have a better idea. Because right now I just look over at the screen. It says I've been recording for 50 minutes now. But, you know, I'm going to trim a little of the front off. I'll trim a little of the back off. And we'll see how long this video is. But that was a lot of fun. I would have enjoyed the heck out of this game playing it back in like 92 or 93. And considering the kind of guy I am and how much I love stuff like HeroClix and HeroScape and all those other like miniature war games that I used to like playing, I would have probably got a kick out of this. It kind of reminds, you know what it makes me think of? Like Skylanders and Amiibos. Like the analog version of those. Like you go and you pick up your little action figure, either at the store or out of one of those capsule machines at the supermarket, and you see what monster you get. Just like, kind of like the trading card games, like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, and that sort of stuff. And I'm sure that was the same idea, was, you know, you would end up with like 7 or 8 copies of The Witch, and you would trade The Witch with your friends, so you get like the Gill Man or the Wolf Man or whatever. Alright, so that was Monster in My Pocket. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. Go out and try it yourself. You might be pleasantly surprised.